All right, John here. Tonight, joined with.
Greetings and salutations once again, fellow YouTubers. Your favorite cyber extraterrestrial wildman beyond be in your presence once again with my one of my good human friends on Earth.
It's good to have Wildman Beyond here, and I'm trying to think when's the last time we had a one-on-one sit down, hangout, whatever.
The two of us, I think it was like way back in the summer. I think it was.
Yeah, and it's always great to have Wildman in here.
It's
Uh,
always a good. It's always good to join you you join you as well.
Coming to you live from Mars,
Yes, indeed. Yeah, I know it's winter, but it's red hot here on Mars. It's red hot,
but
always red hot.
tonight we're just gonna cover various topics and cover, you know, movie-related stuff, news, what have you, whatever Wildman wants to talk about here, and I know he has a couple of things he wants to talk about, and but I guess to sort of catch up a little bit, what have you been up to?
I've been great. I've been enjoying my Christmas. I've been um, uh, I've been doing some. I've been doing some. I bought myself. I got me a Christmas present for myself. I got me an Oculus Quest 2, a virtual reality set, which is a lot of fun. It's really killing off the. It really, if you're looking for to kill off boredom in the pandemic. That's the perfect place. That's the thing you need for sure. You can go anywhere without actually going anywhere. You can do anything. You can play games. You can do this. You can meet people. It's definitely something like out of a movie.
Yeah, I think I looked at one of those, and I mean, it's a lot of money for me, but uh, yeah, I mean, I know we were talking beforehand about theaters and stuff like that. Are theaters open where you are?
Yeah, it's funny because like with this thing, it's like it's like no, the theaters are closed, and we had the drive-ins open, and now they're closed for the winter. But with this thing, it's like you can go. It's like you can do, and you can even go to they even have a virtual movie theater and stuff. It's like they have this. It's definitely something out of the movies because you go in, it looks like a real movie theater, and they have this thing called big screen where you meet people there that hold avatars like something out of Ready Player One, and they have these movie premieres of movies where you can create your own movie night, and they have one on Top Gun on 3D, and you go in, it actually feels like you're in a movie theater. They even have a scenery where it is a drive-in.
Now, is it something like, I guess do you think it's something that is perfected? Like, do you think, in regards to the format of the Oculus, and I don't know too much about the Oculus, so I'm sort of spitballing here. I haven't had any experience with that technology, but would you say, does it need more work? Do you think they've perfected that? I mean, where do
I
you?
think I think I think it's total perfection for sure. Because, like I said, it's something definitely out of the movies. Because look back in the '90s, because that was when virtual reality truly took off.
And where do you see the future? Like, what do you see uh, as far as the future goes? Because it seems like some theaters are open. I think mine is, but I just haven't been there yet. And I mean, I look at what's out. I mean, really, there's no big incentive for me to go because I don't see anything that's out that's interesting. But uh, what is, in your opinion, I mean, what is the future? How will things going forward look like?
I think we are slowly we're still struggling, but I think I can see us slowly getting going into back into place. It's a slow burn, but there are I can see we're getting more improvement. Talking about the theaters, the theaters are slowly getting back the drive-ins. It's winter time, so they had to close, but But we'll see what happens. With of course but the problem is, of course, with Hollywood, with the movies, that they delayed some movies again. They delayed Ghostbusters Afterlife. It was supposed to come out for the summer, but it was supposed to come out for the fall. I don't know. I don't know what fucking why.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I mean, are they trying to wait till the fall?
Fucking stubborn Sony.
Oh, what were you saying?
Fucking stubborn Sony.
Now, are you thinking because maybe they're thinking they can get more people in by the fall, or I mean, what do you think is their mindset?
Got summer coming. There's a lot of people out in the summer. I'm not sure. I understand we may not have a lot of people out because of the pandemic. Maybe the pandemic will be over. What the fuck do they know? See, that's the problem. They think they know everything. Even with this pandemic going on, they're still fucking greasy and greedy and lazy.
Now, well, you've talked about the Oculus, so I mean, when you talk about your experiences with that, the VR stuff, and again, it's hard for me to really talk about the VR Oculus. I wish I had some experience with that, but do you see yourself going back to a theater, or are you kind of comfortable where, with the Oculus?
You know what? Seeing how it's kind of unpredictable, I think it's the perfect time. If this pandemic is going to go on even more, I think it's the perfect time to use the Oculus, because think about it. There's not a lot of people going out. The drive-ins are closed because of the winter. Maybe it'll be open in the spring. But I think, because think about it, this technology came out in the perfect time. Because think about back in the 90s, like I said, going back to the 90s, virtual reality was a big thing. People were talking about it. And of course, I think I know there was a lot of movies about it, but I think the first movie to totally represent it, what the in depth, what the both the wonders and the dangers of virtual reality, of this technology, is definitely the Lawnmower Man.
It's funny because I'm reminded of I don't think there was any like Oculus type of technology in John Mnemonic, but I remember that movie, which takes place in 2021 and deals with the plague.
That's what a fucking coincidence.
Yeah.
And you know what? There's, of course, it's funny because Keanu Reeves was in that movie, and he was also in The Matrix, which was also about virtual reality.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I know. Go ahead. What were you saying about The Matrix?
And like I said, it was also like a plague. It was a plague against the machines. That was kind of like a plague because they were holding humans against their will, kind of like where we're going to with this pandemic.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I mean, I would like to go back to the theater at some point. I mean, it's just at the moment, I look at the year ahead, 2021. I mean, maybe there's a couple of films that I would like to see, but I mean, now, like you mentioned, everything's being pushed to the fall, including Ghostbusters, including No Time to Die, and all these movies, all these big blockbuster movies. And I get with the situation and all the COVID and stuff, and do you think part of it is that they're trying to have more people convert to streaming, or what's your take?
There's no mystery that they're just trying to get people into the. I love streaming, but in another way, there's a good thing about it and there's a bad thing about it. It's driving me nuts. I enjoy going to the movie theater. The theater, when you go to a movie, it's like going to another place. When you're in streaming, it's like it's like seeing something on TV at your house. When you're in that theater, you see that big screen. It's like you're going to another world. Well, it's cool to be at home, but not all the time. It's like a fucking chore now when it comes to streaming. Sometimes
it's a way of convenience.
Absolutely. They think just because streaming is a big thing, that's the problem. They're going with what's popular. So, something. I understand. Yeah, something popular it's cool. It's okay to follow it, but sometimes it kind of backfires, and that's what's going on right now. This whole streaming thing. People are, when they see something that's so popular, and they just run with it. It drives me fucking nuts.
Yeah, and I think even Christopher Nolan, I think he's backed out of Warner Brothers because of the whole thing with Tenet. I don't know all the details with that, but I mean, with streaming, I get it's more convenient, it's better. I could see the argument of you don't have to go out, you can just watch something at home and enjoy it, what have you. But even with, COVID aside, I wonder, what does this mean for movies going forward? Okay, if you want to try and put everything on streaming, does that mean less quality movies? Will there be a drop in quality in filmmaking, directing, acting, that there's not this high demand to make a great movie? You wonder also too, if everything goes streaming, how do actors get paid?
I don't think it's going to change filmmaking because they're still despite they're still shooting in location. They're still using the special effects. They're still using the actors and the actresses. So I don't think streaming is going to change the way they shoot films. But I have a feeling it's going to change people's views on going to movies, because they're just going to see going to movies as just a chore. You can just walk into your living room and just turn the movie on, and it's like it's a fucking chore. I don't want it to always be that.
Unless at the theaters they drop everything down to like prices you would see in the 60s. But I mean, I don't know if that would happen.
That's strange because they're giving us fair prices, but they couldn't do it when the theaters were open. That's fucking stupid.
Yeah, it takes a pandemic and other factors, but I don't know. I mean, I get the argument of streaming, and it's just I wonder, what does this mean going forward? If is it going to be sort of a joining of cinemas and streaming? And you're kind of seeing that too with some movies that are coming out this year, movies that will come out in theaters and streaming. So I don't know. I mean, what do you think?
Of course, like what you're saying about movies coming out in theater and stream. Of course, the big example, which was a total failure, letdown that everybody was hoping for. Everybody was jumping on like crazy. Was of course Wonder Woman 84. Look what that happened to that shit.
Did you ever see that?
I didn't see it. I didn't want to.
Yeah, I mean, from the stuff I've heard about that, and I mean, you got HBO Max has all this stuff coming out. I mean, there was like a preview of all the movies that are coming out to that. I mean, from King Kong versus Godzilla, and I can see that. I can watch that, whether it's streaming or at the theater. I'll definitely watch that for sure, no doubt. We got the Mortal Kombat reboot. There's a new Clint Eastwood.
Yes, that's another one I'm looking forward to. Either way, another good one. I hope good.
I mean, is there anything? I mean, I guess to sort of skip ahead a little bit. I mean, in terms of movies this year, is there anything to look forward to?
I'm definitely looking forward to. I'm sure it was supposed to come out last summer. It's supposed to come out this summer. I can see this coming out and streaming as well. I wouldn't mind. Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah, I think the last thing I heard was that they're really pushing for a theatrical release.
Yeah, I heard that they don't want to put it into streaming because they want to have that experience of these jets flying in the theater. I don't blame them for that. I will love to see. I have a feeling they're going to put it in 3D and IMAX because when they re-released the first film, it was on 3D. So I'm looking forward to just being in the theater. I'll go to the theater. And I'm pretty sure of course, this summer the drivers are going to go back reopening. So that's why I forgot to mention about going forward with this if the theaters are going to stay closed, and if we're still going to have streaming, at least we'll have the fucking drive-ins. And that's another thing. Going back to all these movies that were being pushed now, why the fuck didn't they put these movies in the drive-in back? These summer movies are supposed to come out last summer. Why couldn't they put those in the fucking drive-in instead of us waiting till fucking fall?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's a good question.
That to happen again this year. I don't want that this year. They should start using their fucking heads.
And your phone's going off like crazy, ain't it?
Oh, sorry about that.
Are you good? Your alien, is it your alien
no.
buddies? Is it Benny from Mars? He's like, "Where are you? I got 5 kids to feed."
I pushed the button, so you don't have to worry about that anymore.
Did you steal Matt Damon's potatoes? Is he calling for his potatoes?
I wish I did.
Like on The Martian, but anyway.
I wish I did. They were good potatoes.
But yeah, I mean, I look at movies this year. Maybe Mortal Kombat. We'll see. I mean, I'm waiting for a trailer. I did like some of the images. It makes me curious about the movie, being that it's going to be R-rated and you're going to have fatalities. But you wonder, man, is this going to be CGI blood, CGI, effects, what have you?
Yeah, it's good that they're going back to the source of the game, which we should have gotten with the original film. But despite that, it was still good. But yeah, I understand why people are so worried about it, because they're going with the CGI stuff. But don't forget, there are some movies that have come out, especially good movies on Netflix, where they are practical. They have been practical. Yeah, you'll see a lot of movies in theater, but you see a lot of good movies on Netflix now, where some of them have gone back to the roots, like going back to practical effects and action. So the old school stuff is not a total dead thing,
Yeah, and I want to be surprised. I mean, the cast doesn't look bad. I mean, I don't mind, some of the people being unknowns, but yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, I just hope they don't mess this up, and it's not another repeat of Annihilation.
Oh God! But I know a good friend of ours. His name Gabo, a good friend of ours. He's a huge Mortal Kombat fan, and he didn't like the look of Jax, the guy who plays him. He was on Supergirl. He played Jimmy Olsen.
Okay, I didn't know that.
His name is Machad Brooks, and he has a bald head and a mustache. I'm like, that's not what Jax looked like.
Yeah, I know there were some people on social media saying he looks like Steve Harvey.
Oh God! Why? That goes to show you they're too fucking lazy. Why the fuck couldn't they get someone like Michael Jai White? He looks perfect for that role.
Yeah, he would have been great. Well, wasn't he considered back in the day, or like he was actually?
I bet you the character of Jax was modeled after him.
Well, I think what happened was he was considered for Jax Annihilation, but he did Spawn instead.
They were both new line cinema films.
Yeah, so I mean, it would have been cool.
but still, they could have gotten him. They had him in mind back then, but they couldn't have him in mind for this shit.
Yeah,
they're still fucking lazy.
Yeah, he could have done both. I mean,
yeah.
But yeah, Jax is one of the better parts of an Annihilation. So we'll see what happens with this movie. I just don't want it to be another Annihilation.
Me neither. I hope they get their heads out of their ass with this one. I really do.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, other movies coming out this year. I mean, don't get me started on the Tom and Jerry movie. And
oh God, it had moments that kind of remind me of the cartoons, but I don't know. I love Tom and Jerry. I grew up with those guys. I just don't know. And there are some I admit there were some stuff in the trailer that kind of reminded me of the classic cartoon shorts, but still, I don't know. And Chloe Grace Moretz, they couldn't that was the best they had to come up with Hit Girl. That's the only good casting they could come up with. Have a Hit Girl teaming up with Tom and Jerry. That's the best casting they could come up with.
And then you have other movies, and I'm not gonna. I mean, there's a whole bunch of movies coming out this year, or a few, but I mean, Coming to America. I don't know what your feelings on that.
Looking forward to that because Eddie Murphy is slowly making a comeback. I mean, he still got it. You go look at. I haven't seen that movie he did for Netflix. What was it called?
Oh, Dolomite.
Dynamite something, and he nailed. Eddie Murphy. He's slowly making a good comeback. He did that. I haven't seen that movie he did on Netflix. Dolomite or something, and he really killed it on Saturday Night Live. Did you see him on Saturday Night Live?
Yeah, I saw a little bit of it. It was all right.
He still got it, man. I'm telling you. I'm still telling you. And I watched the trailer. I was like, wow, this is not bad. They brought Arsenio Hall back, and they brought back the characters that they played in makeup. They brought back the what was the Jewish guy.
Yeah.
And they brought them back. How old are those characters? They're like in their 90s. They're like, oh, these guys are still alive. These characters are like in their 90s now, and they're still alive.
I guess so.
Oh wow, that's awesome. They brought James Earl Jones back, but the problem is it's on fucking Amazon. Going back to what I said about streaming, and you know what? I heard. This goes back to Beverly Hills Cop 4, where they were thinking about putting on Netflix. I don't want Beverly Hills Cop 4 in fucking Netflix. I want it on the fucking big screen.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't heard too much about that lately, but I think that's something Eddie Murphy's working on. I mean, I look at other movies this year, and again, I'm not going to name every movie, but I mean, we talked about Godzilla versus Kong. The Black Widow movie, who cares?
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a cock fuck about. I'm done with fucking Marvel. I don't care about fucking Black Widow.
I'd rather get bit by a Black Widow.
I want to step on it, like John Goodman and Arachnophobia.
Yeah, that's what we need. We don't need a Black Widow movie. We need a Delbert movie spinoff.
There already was a Black Widow movie. You remember that movie with Teresa Russell?
I have never seen it. Never heard of it.
That term Black Widow was about women who were killing men for their money, who was marrying them. I'd rather watch that fucking Black Widow with Teresa Russell than with fucking Scarlett Johansson.
Let's see what else. Spiral, which was it's like a Saw sequel.
No, I'm curious with that because it seems like it's a spin-off. It's kind of going in a different direction. And you got Samuel L. Jackson. He's kind of like the villain. And Chris Rock. It's kind of cool to see him do a serious role because the last time he did something like that was New Jack City. He was pretty good in that.
Samaritan, this upcoming Stallone film.
I am totally looking forward to that. I like that because you got an action hero playing a superhero because all this crap about superheroes being the only action heroes. There's a difference between superheroes and action heroes. I'm sick and tired of superheroes always portraying as action heroes. And I like that because you got an action hero playing a superhero. We need something like that because I'm getting sick and tired of superheroes always being labeled as the action hero. I'm getting tired of that. So this is something different.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens with that. I mean, some of the pictures look interesting. I mean, we'll see.
It's kind of like Stallone's version of Hancock in a way.
Yeah.
But fucking better, I'll tell you that much.
Space Jam: A New Legacy.
I don't.
You look forward to that?
What? I don't give a shit.
What else? I mean, I'm just the Candyman reboot. Why do we need a reboot of Candyman?
I will admit there are. It's like there are trying to put a little. They're trying to put something. It's like they're trying to follow that vibe of Nightmare on Elm Street 2, because because in that movie in part two he was dealing with the fact that he was becoming Freddy Krueger, and of course in the original Candyman she was obsessed with this urban legend who was seducing her. But in this one, it's like they're it's like he was so obsessed with this legend that he's seducing him by becoming him. It's kind of like the same situation with Nightmare on Elm Street 2. You know.
Yeah. Now, is it? I mean, I know you mentioned No Time to Die. Do you look forward to that, or what are your thoughts?
You know what? I'm still kind of weary after my thoughts about the recent James Bonds, but I heard this is gonna be Daniel Craig's last one, and you know I've been saying this. People are getting sick, and even people now, people are waking up. All this bullshit going on in Hollywood, all this SJW bullshit. They are realizing that to making James Bond deeply serious, it was a bad idea. I've been hearing a lot of people say this. All this crap that's going on now, people are waking up. When you look at all this woke shit and SJW shit, it's like you know what, people are waking up. They don't want they don't want to see this Bond anymore. I'm glad this is going to be his last one. It might be good, but you know what, I if I go see it, I fucking hope they do a dedication to Sean Connery. They better have a fucking dedication to him.
And from what I understand, I mean, they're gonna find somebody to fill in the role. Like,
That was a fucking stupid idea. I don't give a cock fuck what anybody says. There's only one 007, and it's James Bond. I am sick
oh
of
no,
people giving me a fucking excuse with that.
oh
I
no,
don't.
oh
I'm
no.
sick and fucking tired.
Well, I mean, the recent thing that I've heard about that they're looking for the next Bond, and like recently I saw the name Cillian Murphy, the guy from Batman Begins. I'm like, really? He's being tapped for that?
I heard about this other guy who's on that show that's popular on Netflix, Brighton, or some that's the one that some period piece. I don't fucking care.
Yeah, I mean, Cillian Murphy. I mean, did people not see the test footage of him as Batman for Batman Begins? You can't. He's not bad in Batman Begins. He's a decent actor, but I can't buy him as a Bond.
I can buy him as a Bond villain.
Maybe yeah, that like even like at one point they were talking about Tom Hardy, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't care. I don't buy Tom Hardy as Bond.
I don't see it. You know what? I understand that movie gets a lot of crap, but he was convincing more as Venom than fucking Bane. I'll give him credit for Venom in some points.
Actually, I didn't mind him in this one film. I don't know if you've seen called Warrior. Uh,
Oh yeah, that I think that was one of the movies that got him noticed about UFC fighting. Yeah, it was like about UFC fighting. Yeah,
yeah, that was not a bad movie. I mean, so I've kind of warmed up.
he was okay in Mad Max, but he didn't do a lot in Mad Max. It was about Charlize Theron.
Do you like Tom Hardy, or what do you stand on him?
Actor. I like him, but I just feel like he needs to do better. He needs to get better work.
Or maybe, well, I was about to say it almost seems like he gets too much work, but he's not a Mark Wahlberg.
Oh God, don't get. I am so done with his ass.
You done with Marky Mark?
I am so done with Marky Mark and his fucking. But I am so done with him. I am so fucking done. Speaking of him, he's going to be in that Uncharted movie. I'm glad. I like the fact they have Tom Holland as Nathan Drake, because he has that agility. Just Nathan Drake is like it's kind of like Laura Croft. He's like he has a lot of agility. Like,
Oh, I think I'm losing Wild Man here. I think Marky Mark got to him. You still there?
oh yeah. You hear me?
Yeah, I thought Marky Mark got to you for a second.
No. He ain't coming up on my point. I'll tell you that fucking much. Well, anyway, I can definitely see Tom Holland as this character of Nathan Drake because the character in the games, he's very athletic. He has a lot of agility, like Spider Man, and of course Tom Holland. He's known for doing his own dancing and stunt work. He's a gymnast, so Tom Holland is perfect. He's definitely one of those movie stars. I love Tom Holland. He's definitely one of those movie stars who can pull off two iconic characters, going from Spider-Man. I can see him playing Nathan Drake. Definitely, I can see him see him as this role. I'm looking forward to that, but not with Marky Mark. I'll tell you that fucking much.
And I think Mark Wahlberg's playing the villain. I could be wrong about that.
Well, if he's playing I hope Tom Holland kicks his ass.
But what were we talking? Yeah, we're talking about Tom Hardy. Yeah, I mean, I've warmed up to him a little bit, but as Bond, I just can't see it. I think it'll be a while before they look at somebody else here.
Right.
But I mean, like I said, there's other movies coming out this year, like Ghostbusters Afterlife that we mentioned, the Spider-Man sequel, which is going to be a multiverse movie.
I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to seeing Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield and Tom Holland, and maybe Tobey Maguire will redeem himself, come returning as Spider-Man because you could tell he's gotten older now. So it's kind of like the same thing with Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, where they're dealing with an older Spider-Man. So I can see Tobey Maguire redeeming himself, hopefully, and I'll be cool to see Andrew Garfield back, and of course Tom Holland. I'm looking forward to those three guys. I heard that Kirsten Dunst is coming back, despite the fact that she's a woke ass bitch.
Yeah, I heard about that too, and like Alfred Molina's back in it and such. I mean,
I'm so glad they brought him back because he nailed it as Doc Ock. I'm glad they brought him back.
Do you look forward to The Matrix 4?
I don't fucking know, man. I don't fucking know. My mind is just so fucking drained with that franchise. It is so fucking drained. Oh God, I just don't fucking know.
And I like the Matrix sequels, but the way the last one ended, how do you come back from that? Like, how do you explain that? Was it
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was about to say, was it all a dream? Are we in the Matrix? I mean,
with that franchise, they can go either way.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, I mean,
maybe it's like a reset, because they talk about reboot and reloading and resetting. Maybe it was like a reset. Everything was reset. And they should call it the Matrix Reset or something like that.
It was all a dream. That's what it was.
Exactly.
It was all a dream.
We only had that. It was Total Recall.
Yeah, it was recalled.
Better. Even better. Another movie that did it better. They Live.
Yeah.
Because it was like they were in the Matrix and they were waking up and they were wearing sunglasses. You know what? They Live did it. For people don't realize that They Live was the original Matrix. I just watched that movie recently, and that is even more relevant today than the fucking Matrix.
Yeah, and that's a film that I definitely would like to watch again.
I'll watch They Live any day than the fucking Matrix films, to be honest with you.
But yeah,
because that came along first. That started that shit first.
Man, I don't know if I look forward to the Matrix 4. I mean, I felt the last one ended fine. I just don't know how they're gonna explain this one. But anyway, I mean,
as far as Keanu go, he's better off right now with John Wick than the Matrix. He should leave the Matrix alone.
I agree. I mean, just concentrate on John Wick 4.
They should bring back Carrie-Anne Moss for a John Wick film. That'll be even more epic.
Yeah, or Van Damme or somebody.
Exactly. Even better, Cynthia Rothrock. I'm getting sick and tired of people shitting on her. I'm sick and tired of it. Give that woman a fucking break.
I agree. I still have to watch more of her stuff.
Yeah,
but that's just a few movies.
She should have played fucking Wonder Woman.
Yeah, she's more believable than Gal Gadot, but I'm never going to get heat for that.
Or even worse, Ronda Rousey.
All right, If you had to pick one, Gal Gadot or Ronda Rousey. Still there? Oh, I think Gal Gadot got to the stream, got to the Skype.
If I had to pick which one,
Uh-oh. You still there, Wild Man?
okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. Oh, what were you saying?
Yeah, you were asking me if I had to choose which one to play Wonder Woman.
I know I said between Gal Gadot and Ronda Rousey.
When it comes to Wonder Woman,
I guess acting-wise.
you know what, Gal Gadot, I can see a little bit. She plays have from Effer. What about what about Gina Carano?
I know I was saying, like, I know you hate both Gal Gadot and Ronda Rousey, so I was asking,
Okay,
if you had to pick one.
I can see Gal Gadot. At least she's putting more effort than Ronda Rousey.
Yeah. That's what I was just wondering. I mean,
But I'll give Ronda Rousey credit for it because she landed her voice as Sonya for Mortal Kombat. I have that game. I got on Bertha with. You got Rambo in there. You have RoboCop. I'll give her credit for that. She did a good job with Sonya. I'll give her credit for that. And I like the fact that they brought back the original cast from the movie of Mortal Kombat. They brought back Christopher Lambert. They brought back Bridget Wilson, which is cool because you had the original Sonya kicking Ronda Rousey's Sonya's ass, which is great.
what, for the video game?
On the video game, because you get to face the movie Sonya and the Ronda Rousey Sonya, which is cool. It was so great.
Oh, I did not know that Christopher Lambert came back for the voice of Raiden.
Yeah, he came back as Raiden. Yeah.
Okay, I don't know how I missed that.
Yeah, of course they had the movie Johnny Cage back in there, and of course Bridget Wilson coming back as Sonya. I don't know why they didn't get Robin Shue as Liu Kang. I don't know. I guess he wasn't available.
He probably wanted a lot of money.
Maybe.
You should have just paid him the money.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. I think Linda Ashby is Johnny Cage. Okay, that's cool. And so okay, wow. I mean, I heard about Kara Tagawa providing the voice, but I did not know.
A Shang song.
Huh.
But what's the character who stole the show in this game was Rambo.
Yeah, I would like to play that now. Actually, now that we're talking about it, I would like to pick that up.
Yeah, Stallone, he nailed it. For some of you out there who didn't like Rambo: Last Blood, he totally redeemed himself as Rambo when it came to this game for sure.
And isn't that sad? And it just goes to show how much Rambo 5 sucks. That it takes to put Rambo in a Mortal Kombat game to bring back
He was more brutal in this than he was in that one. You could tell the reason they put him in this game was because of Rambo: Last Blood. That kill that he did.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Now I definitely would like to play it. Now you got me interested in picking that game up. But yeah, I mean that's a few movies that when you look at this year, we mentioned a few movies, and like I said, I didn't get to every one. I know that Wildman Beyond, he's I know there's some topics that he wanted to get to tonight, but we'll go ahead and kick off with that. I mean, I know you wanted to talk about Cobra Kai.
Yes, indeed.
And
indeed.
What are your thoughts on the show?
You know what? Of all the rants we had about franchises are being fucked over, this is the savior. This shows along with this and the Mandalorian. But Cobra Kai. I know we have the Mandalorian, but Cobra Kai is the ultimate example of how not to fuck up a franchise. They did an excellent job. The three directors, the creators, of course known as the Big Three, who create Hot Tub Time Machine, and Harold and Kumar, who they were huge Karate Kid fans. Even Ralph Macchio said in interviews like this was like their Star Wars, and it is kind of like Star Wars on Earth, because I know when Top Gun came out, it was like Star Wars on Earth, but this franchise has shown this is like Star Wars on Earth because you're dealing with the dark side and the balance, because they even talk about balance on the show, and this show has a lot of fucking balance. They do a good fucking job with it. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I did watch season 3, and I'm caught up with the show. I'm interested in seeing what's going to happen going forward.
It aired on New Year's Day, which was a perfect time for it, and it is definitely the quintessential season of this series for sure.
Yeah, and I know they have plans up to season 6, but I wonder how much. I mean, I'm sure they'll probably, because I know there's been talks of bringing in characters like Terry Silver and maybe Hilary Swank's character, but
Mike Barnes.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess it's a matter of we'll see if that happens or not. I wonder how they're going to stretch this out for 2 or 3 more seasons. So we'll see what happens. How do you think this will go?
As I can see it going on for more 6 seasons, but you never know. I'm looking for, because this show is on fire than ever since it went. Yeah, it was popular. It had a big cult following on YouTube, but when it went to Netflix, it blew up like crazy. People are talking about it on TV like crazy. They were talking about it on Entertainment Tonight, Access Hollywood. They have Ralph Macchio and William Zabka on The View. It's become a bigger phenomenon than its process of the fucking Karate Kid, the original Karate Kid.
Yeah, and I mean, it was cool to see Elizabeth Shue appear in the 3rd season.
She was the cherry on top. She made that season. She saved the season, because Kreese was like the devil, but she was like the angel who comes and helps them out. I believe this season wouldn't be iconic if they didn't put her in at the last minute. They did. I thought that was a perfect way for her to come back for sure. She didn't just steal the show. She saved the show for sure.
What are your thoughts on Chosen being brought back here for a little bit?
I thought that was clever. They did a good job with that. I like, because it was. What's cool about this show? They're not just putting the nostalgia in for just to put it in. Is part of the story. They always say that we're doing it because it's only for it to make the story interesting. And they're so smart with it. And I really like how they brought him back to make. I like how they made him look like he still had a grudge with Daniel, but at the end he only did that to get back at him for him humiliating him when he looked like he was about to kill him, and he did the same thing. He hunked his nose. I that was gold, man.
What are your hopes for season 4? I mean, what do you hope to see, like appearance wise or story wise?
The way it ended was so perfect and so epic. It really made the season. This is the quintessential season for sure. And the fact that it ended with when Kreese said at the end, "Why don't we sell this the old fashioned way?" He said tournament. I was like, oh boy, it's time to go to war now. The whole season dealing with the tournament is like. Because you're looking forward to how are they going to coexist? Are they going to make it? Are they going to fight each other before the tournament? That whole season is going to deal with them getting ready for this tournament. Kind of like something out of a Rocky movie. But speaking of Rocky, I am so glad that Johnny and Daniel finally had their Rocky 3 moment. At the end with Rocky and Apollo.
Yeah, you wonder where this is going to go because, it ends with, them teaming up and becoming teachers, at the Miyagi-Do. But you wonder, because of the clash of teachings, what's going to happen for the next season.
Daniel, he's more of the serious sensei, and Johnny, he's more of the rebel. He plays by his own rules. Like it kind of goes. I really got a kick out of that Tango and Cash reference because that's my favorite buddy movie. I really got a kick out of that reference.
And I must say, I know I mentioned Elizabeth Shue, but she still looks good.
Oh my god, she is hotter now than she was back then. I am telling you. All of them look good. William Zabka, Ralph Macchio, all 3 of them. These are actors who've been around for a long time in their fucking 50s, and they still look great.
Yeah.
Even Martin Cove. I mean, he nailed this season. What do you think? What do you think him as Kreese? Man?
I was just getting ready to ask you about Kreese because it seems like now.
He stepped his game up, man. He did not give a shit. He stepped his game up, man. He was so vicious, man. You hate him even more than he was back then, man.
Are you kind of surprised that the way this character, the way that where they have gone with this character, especially in this season, that they haven't put him behind bars or something, or they haven't called the cops, or?
You know, I felt like maybe the cops are in on it. Maybe it's corrupt or something. But I really like speaking of what they did with his
Kreese
character.
probably paid off the cops.
Right?
What are we talking about?
Especially with that landlord guy.
Yeah, he paid. Yeah, there's that one character where, I think there was one scene where they were trying to kick him out of the studio, and this owner sent in a couple of guys to kick him out because they bought out the place, the studio. Right.
But he doesn't go. But Kreese, he doesn't go. He doesn't. He strikes hard, man. You can't get rid of him that easy. And of course, that scene where he put all the snakes in the dealership. Oh my God! It's finally open season on you, Danny boy.
And I like Martin Cove, and
I'm so glad. I admire this man more than ever. He seems like I've been watching interviews of him, and I admire this guy even more because when you listen to this guy talk, it's like, why didn't this guy become a bigger star? I mean, he's so intelligent. He's a real life sensei. He seems like a very nice guy. He's very intelligent and stuff like that. And I'm glad that this show is giving him a comeback. He's making a comeback as his most popular role. And of course, I know he was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but I'm glad he's making a comeback. I'm glad he's making a comeback, going back to where he started with, which was the Karate Kid. I'm really happy for him. I'm glad that he nailed this season, man. He really nailed it. And speaking of the character of Kreese again, I like how they showed his humanity of how he became who he was with the flashbacks, how was that scene with the fucking fight on Vietnam when he had to fight his own? That was crazy, man.
Yeah. Oh, do you like that they kind of explore a little bit of the early years of Kreese and the war?
I thought that was ingenious because you actually get to see why he became who he became. And what was interesting, it may look like you were trying to make you sympathize with him, but in a way you weren't. But because he is still a vicious, evil guy. But you kind of maybe not sympathize with him, but maybe can connect with him a little bit, like because you kind of agree with him when he says we'll melt this whole snowflake generation. I really like that. Okay.
And where do you see that character going for season 4?
I can see, he, how Kreese is. He doesn't give a shit. And to bring Terry Silver in, it's not just going to be like a hurricane. It's going to be like Karate Kid 2 with that whole typhoon.
Yeah. Where's are they going to bring back Michael Ironside? I mean,
you know what? I heard, because Cobra Kai is known for its theories they make, like a soap opera, because like I said, there's a lot of these channels I told you about called the Cobra Kai Kid, Cobra Kai Companion. I know, of course, there's been a lot of channels that talk about popular TV shows, but this one, they take it very seriously. It's like you have to watch it after you watch the show. You have to watch these channels like a ESP sports event. You got to watch the highlights, and they interviewed all the cast. They actually have the cast on their YouTube channels. They talked to them on Instagram Live. I even showed up on a live chat on Instagram once with one of the hosts. I talked about the show, and they take it very seriously. I mean, I know there's been a lot of channels talking about popular shows, but this one, they take it very seriously when it comes to Cobra Kai, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see what happens going forward. I mean, who they're going to get. I mean, I I mean,
maybe that would have been Michael Ironside, or maybe it could be either Michael Ironside or maybe Terry Silver. But I know you and I both know damn well they're gonna have Hilary Swank in this one.
yeah, I mean, if they're talking about, it's like I mentioned before, there's plans all the way up to season 6, but there's not many characters left where they could bring back. I mean, there may be 3 or 4 characters that we could talk about, but
I heard that some stupid word I even heard they might get Jaden Smith back. Don't
I hope to God not.
Think about it. Don't even fucking think about it, please.
Rant away because I want to see that happen.
Oh God.
Oh, what are your thoughts on Jaden Smith? What are your thoughts on that reboot, that remake of Karate Kid?
You know what? I may have liked it if they would have just called it the Kung Fu Kid, and maybe they would have. I mean, you know what? If they would have called it the Kung Fu, maybe make like it was in the same universe, maybe.
Yeah, it probably would have been like a. If it was like called that, it would have been like a harmless throwaway movie.
Right.
But I can't stand Jaden Smith.
Yeah, me neither. Jackie Chan, maybe, I don't know about, do you think they should have Jackie Chan on the show?
I don't know if they will go that route. I think he would ask for a lot of money.
Because you remember that Instagram post I did about why they should have more martial artists to show up, like Chuck Norris and Cynthia Rock and Van Damme. They should do that. And Jeff Speakman too. There's a guy who deserves a comeback. He's perfect for that show.
I would just love if Jeff Speakman came in the final season, just cleaned house.
Absolutely.
And just fucking take out, Johnny and Daniel and Kreese, and there you go. You can end season 6 with Jeff Speakman, the perfect weapon.
Absolutely. And you know what? How was that whole Eagle thing? Because I like how Johnny took inspiration from Iron Eagle. I like that Eagle thing.
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty funny. And yeah, I mean, I'm open to what happens next, and I do like the show. I mean, and I like season 3 a lot. And of course, nothing's perfect. I mean, but it was neat to see Elizabeth Shue in there, and I like to see what happens for season 4. But yeah, I mean, so what's your overall thoughts on that? I guess.
Yeah. Before I start with my overall thoughts, we forgot one more thing. How about what the fuck was with Robbie, man? Oh my God, man! I was expecting that he became the. Speaking of how this is kind of similar to Star Wars, he is the Anakin of this franchise now.
Pretty much.
I mean, he fucking snapped. He fucking snapped on his father, Johnny. He just snapped.
At least he's not saying yippee.
Right.
Better actor than Jake Lloyd, but I know I feel bad for Jake Lloyd, what he went through and stuff like that. But still, yeah, we'll see. I like to see what happens with that.
Yeah, but Robbie, man, you talk about Johnny going through some shit. His son, his like father like son. Robbie got it rough. I'm telling you. I mean, he Creases got him by his fangs, eating him. He put his venom in him, man.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Absolutely, but it works. It really works because it creates more conflict, which is what the show is about. And just like with Star Wars, because just like Star Wars, this franchise deals with finding balance and the dark side and the balance. I like that, and they did a good job with it. And another thing I like how Tori became like Sam's version of Mike Barnes. I really like that goes to show you how, despite how Karate Kid 3 was a shitty movie, it helps you go back and appreciate that movie a little bit more, in a way.
Yeah, because they made reference, for people who may not know what we're talking about. In season 3 of the Cobra Kai, they kind of referenced that, where Daniel's daughter is going through the same fears that Daniel did in Karate Kid 3. Where, he was taught everything and, suddenly Like in Karate Kid 3, here in Cobra Kai, Daniel's daughter is hit with a sphere and becomes shuddered. I don't know if that's a word I can use.
She's like
Paralyzed. Yeah, I guess. Paralyzed. You know,
like Daniel, he was paralyzed with fear.
yeah, kind of, forgot what you've been taught type of thing. So,
But I thought they did it well. I really, because it really helped with the show, and it kind of makes you go back. And despite how the third one was a shitty movie, it kind of makes you go back and have a little bit respect for it, a little bit what they were trying to do.
yeah, and like I said, I mean, it does. Season 3 definitely had its highlights, and again, we mentioned before Elizabeth Shue coming back, and it's cool to see Chosen, and even the girl from Karate Kid 2.
Yeah, I am so glad they brought her back. That was another one, especially the scene where she was reading the note of Miss Miyagi left for Daniel, and of course I love how Chosen made him discover the secret to Miyagi-Do, that Miyagi-Do doesn't have to be about more than just defense. It's like it showed that he showed that Miyagi can be even more badass and deadly than Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
Especially when Daniel put that move on Kreese. Oh my God, that was, of course, that scene that was so that was something out of Star Wars. It's like Kreese was about to choke Johnny again. All hope was lost, and all of a sudden Daniel came up at the last minute. It was like that helped you root for that character again, despite the fact that he was such an asshole on the show. You really root for him. That was Daniel's moment to shine for this season for sure.
So I know with this question, maybe I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself here. I know we mentioned Hilary Swank. How do you see that character being brought in? I have a feeling that they'll have like some kind of where you see the silhouette of a woman and they'll pop in a Cranberry song, like the next Karate Kid. That song, I forgot what, Dreams. Well, go ahead.
Yeah, Hilary Swank has come a long way since the next Karate Kid. She's proven herself to be a good actress. I just saw that movie she did that was also on streaming. Fatale. She did a good fucking job. She scared the shit out of me in that movie.
Yeah, she's definitely come a long way. I mean, and I actually like the next Karate Kid a little bit more than Karate Kid 3.
Right. Yeah, and so I can see her seeing how she's grown up and she's more mature. It is definitely just like with Elizabeth Shue coming back. It is like full circle. I can definitely see her coming back as this character the way she is now, and I know they're going to have her in the scene because they're trying to get people set up for this tournament, and of course Kreese, he's calling people for help to get people set up, and so Daniel and Johnny, but they need some more help with this, so you can tell they're going to have Hilary Swank come in, and of course maybe they even talked to maybe Chosen coming in to help out as well, so it's going to be epic. I'm looking forward to it, and this season it was the big question mark for a cast member was Elizabeth Shue, and the next year it's going to be Hilary Swank.
Yeah.
Okay, I had no idea Elizabeth Shue was going to show up. When I saw her, that scene where they cut to her, I was like, oh my God. I'm looking forward for them doing it to Hilary Swank for sure.
And Elizabeth Shue's still hot.
Absolutely, they're both high. Her and Hilary Swank.
But yeah, so we'll see what happens going forward. And I do like the show. I mean, I know I haven't really spoken about it a lot.
Oh, by the way, I have the video game of Cobra Kai on Xbox One.
And how was that?
Oh my God, they just like they brought back this franchise. They really brought back the beat 'em up franchise, because when it came to fighting games, it was always about Mortal Kombat and tournaments and stuff like that. But this game totally resurrected the beat 'em up genre, like games like Double Dragon and Streets of Rage. You scroll all the way to the end of the level, beating up people, picking up their weapons. But what's cool about it is it's funny, just like the game, just like the show is sometimes funny. They did a good job with it. They brought back Ralph Macchio and William Zabka to do the voice of Daniel and Johnny, but they didn't have some of the cast to come back to lend their voice for the game, which is strange. But it is such a great game. I love it. It's you should check it out. It's a very good resurgence for beat 'em up games for sure.
Alrighty.
I love it.
So, and I know you mentioned, and we talked about Cobra Kai, and I know you also mentioned the Mandalorian, which I happen to have watched the first 4 episodes.
You know what? Ever since I saw that scene with Luke Skywalker, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna check the show out.
Yeah, and I was surprised. I mean, I haven't talked about that at all, but I mean, what I've seen of the Mandalorian so far, I've enjoyed.
No, it's funny because we talked about how Mandalorian and Cobra Kai are both streaming shows that are paying much better respect to franchises. It's funny because how Luke Skywalker was the surprise guest. It was the same thing with Elizabeth Shue. It was like she was the Luke Skywalker of Cobra Kai this year.
Yeah. Who would have thought? It takes Elizabeth Shue and young Mark Hamill in CGI form to save the year.
To save a franchise.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I mean, I look more forward to what they're going to do with the Mandalorian, but because I mean, I'm not all the way caught up. I've only seen the first 4 episodes, but I can tell you, and again, I know I haven't really talked about it, but I have enjoyed the show. So I wonder what's going to happen going forward. But again, I still have to watch the rest of season 1 and season 2.
I'm surprised that Disney is giving more respect to the Mandalorian with this show, the Star Wars with this show than the movies.
Exactly. I mean, just thinking about the movies again.
They couldn't give the same respect for the fucking movies, but it took this show to do it. The same thing with Cobra Kai. It took a streaming show. It's like movie franchises that were popular back then that they shit on now with movies. It takes like television to help get his respect back, to get his redemption back. You know?
Yeah, and yeah, like I said, I have to watch more. I think it was New Year's Day. Actually, I watched the first half of season 1.
Because that was the season premiere of Cobra Kai season 3. It came out on New Year's Day. That's funny.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of both of that day, but yeah, I mean, what I've seen so far is a hell lot better than what they did with the last 3 Star Wars movies.
Absolutely. I didn't even see the Rise of Skywalker.
I didn't either, and I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn.
I don't give a cockfuck.
I mean, The Force Awakens was a fart. The Fart Awakens.
Fart Awakens.
The Last Jedi pissed me off.
How about the last Jello? How about that?
Yeah, the last straw, because that's what it was.
Absolutely.
And they're talking about we're gonna retcon that. It's too late. The damage has been done. The damage has been done. You killed off Han. You killed off Luke. Carrie Fisher's passed. There's nothing you could do with the original cast. You fucked it up.
But you know what? These rumors I'm hearing with the Mandalorian. Hear these rumors that they want to reboot with the Mandalorian. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, is it? I don't know much about the second season, but are they doing a Boba Fett spinoff? Like the Mandalorian?
Yeah, they should stop, because that's the thing. It's nice that these franchises are slowly getting redemption, but sometimes that redemption can backfire.
Yeah.
So just don't take it. Just leave it alone. Just take a breather. Just go with what you got so far. Because I even heard that they're even thinking about doing spin-offs of Cobra Kai. Of going focus on a prequel to Mr. Miyagi.
Don't need it. I mean, it's just we're getting ahead of ourselves here, because I think what it is, the creators, they look at the success and the feedback of these
Right.
series like Cobra Kai, like a Mandalorian.
That's how we got into this bullshit with Hollywood in the first place, because they overdid it.
Yeah,
Overdid their success.
that's what have we been bitching about for the last decade, Wild Man? I mean, yeah, I mean reboots, remakes, prequels, what have you, but everything's been done to death, and what happens? It's just a recycle and a retread, and we're going back in circles, and it's a spin off of this, spin off of that. Let's make a prequel. Oh, we gotta know a backstory. We gotta know. But go ahead. What were you saying?
It's nice that there are franchises that are getting redemption, but what if that redemption backfires? You ever thought about that?
Yeah, oversaturation.
Right.
Which I mean, really, you can say about that everything now, because of the way of streaming, because of the way of all these different platforms. Everyone's gonna have a streaming service, which I know we're kind of going back to what we were talking about in the beginning, but you know, too much of a good thing can be bad.
Right. Yeah. 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 That's the way. That's the way. You're exactly. That's the way. That's the way to say it. So too much good can lead to bad. Yeah. Especially how these franchises, like with Cobra Kai and the Mandalorian, they done these spin-offs. Giving these franchises redemption, but how far are you gonna fucking take it?
It's kind of like it goes back to what we were talking about earlier, like with streaming. If everything goes to streaming, if they push everything to streaming, movies, theatrical movies, what have you, is it going to get to a point where it becomes too much? Because of all the platforms and everything is being shoved and shoved and shoved.
And you know what? We forgot to mention. Speaking of streaming, did you hear they're gonna do like a revival of the Batman, the animated series, the original Batman animated series?
Yeah, I heard about that. I mean, yeah, I did hear about that. I think that's a rumor or something. I heard. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. Actually, I was going through some of the movie news that I wanted to bring up, and I did come across that. For HBO Max. But I'll see it when I believe it. I do like the Batman animated series, but we'll see what happens.
And I really love the Batman Arkham games. I even got the latest one, Batman Arkham Knight, which is seen as the quintessential one. I'm really enjoying that game. They did a good job with that.
I still have to play that.
And what's cool about they have these add-ons where you can dress up as the Adam West Batman, the Michael Keaton Batman. You can change the different Batmobiles. It's great.
Interesting.
Yep. Same thing with Mortal Kombat, where they had this add-on pack where you can add Rambo and the original characters from the original Mortal Kombat film.
Huh. I need to get back to my video games here. I'm going to do playthroughs here soon if I can get the Bond reviews done. That's one thing that I want to jump back on because I have to play. There's a couple of games that I got that I would like to do some playthroughs of.
You know what? Speaking of Bond, you should do like in video games. You should do a bonus review of reviewing maybe some of the James Bond games like GoldenEye or From Russia with Love or something like that.
If only I had the systems. Wow, man. I have to buy a Nintendo 64 again because some of those I don't have.
Right.
But
of course.
But yeah, I mean, and getting back to what I was saying about streaming services, and I mean, people might say, well, you're just against Netflix and all this stuff. It's a matter of, I get it's more convenient, but it's going to get to a point where it's too much, and
like you said, over exaggerated. Yeah.
Or people might just say, I'm overthinking it here. What's your take? I guess. I know.
Like I said, it's streaming is cool, but sometimes an idea can backfire because I enjoy a movie in the big screen. When I want to enjoy a movie, I want to feel like I'm going to a different place, a different world. Yeah, you can do it at home, but it's like when you do it at home too much, it's like a fucking chore. You want to go out and have a different experience. That's what the movie theater is. And all this crap about, it's outdated, it's old, bull fucking shit. Look, they brought back the drive-ins.
Yeah,
and that was becoming bigger than that. So don't give me this crap. It's a cycle. So don't give me this bullshit when something's gone. It's gonna be gone forever. There's always gonna be a fucking cycle when something comes back around.
there's that part of it where it's like, okay, if they're thinking about going with ideas like stuff that I've seen lately in the movie news. Oh, we're gonna do a Willy Wonka origin movie.
Oh my god, I heard about that. I don't fucking care. What is there to tell about that story?
Didn't they touch on that in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
Yeah.
But we're looking at Tom Holland for this role, or the guy from.
Leave him alone. He already got Spider-Man and Uncharted. Leave him the fuck out of this, please.
Then you got a talks of a Naked Gun reboot, Liam Neeson.
Oh my god. Oh god, Liam, what the fuck have you done to yourself? What have you done to yourself? You go from drama, then action, and then out to comedy. He's trying to. You're trying to become like the new Leslie Niels, because don't forget, Leslie Niels, he started out as a dramatic actor, and then he went on to comedy. I mean, you went from a drama actor to a big action star. Now you're gonna do another transition to comedy, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just talks at the moment, but still, it's like, if
you know what, he should fucking return as Dark Man.
Yeah,
that's what he should do.
Not do a reboot of Naked Gun. And if that's what it's coming out, if that's what we got, honestly, man, if that's what we have to look forward to in the future, that we're gonna get a Willy Wonka origin movie, a Naked Gun reboot, Liam Neeson, then I'm like, okay, you deserve to be on streaming. I don't want to see this in a theater.
Good point. Good point there. I agree. Good point. That's a good point. That's worth streaming for.
Yeah, that's then fuck it then. I just whenever I go to a theater, it's going to be to see a re-release of an old movie, which I've done before. I saw TMNT 1990 on the big screen. I saw Jaws on the big screen. I saw The Burbs on the big screen. I saw Demolition Man on the big screen. I'd rather just go back to the theater, just have, drive-ins, like you mentioned, to show older movies. Or
like I said, to get a fucking Oculus and just go to a virtual theater instead of going out, wasting your money. You get an Oculus and go into enjoy in the virtual world.
Yeah. And, you can do that. If you prefer virtually.
Exactly.
Or you can, find the same pair of goggles, like in Demolition Man, and have sex with Sandra Bullock. I don't know. Do it virtually.
Exactly. Of course.
But, yeah, then it's like, I look at the movie news, there's nothing encouraging. I'm not encouraged by a Liam Neeson Naked Gun reboot. I'm not encouraged by, like, Die Hard 6. Like, apparently just talks about that. I don't know how much talk... I mean, what's your take on Bruce Willis now? Because...
he's lost it. He's fucking lost it. I lost faith in him. He's lost it, especially that news of him going to a store without his mask, looking like... Bruce, get your fucking shit together, man. That Die Hard battery. He should take both his hands and grab both hands with that battery and rejuice himself.
Yeah,
that's what he should do.
Yeah.
That's what he should have done in the commercial. Take both his hands, put both his hands on the battery, and rejuice the life back into him. Kickstart his heart like Motley Crue.
Yeah, like Crank style. I mean,
exactly.
I mean, it's kind of like what Matt said, Rainbow for life. He needs his soul back. His soul got taken by Shang Tsung.
Take one of those Die Hard batteries, put your and kickstart your fucking heart. If you even better, kickstart your ass.
Yeah. But Die Hard 6, and this was like talked about maybe 2, 3 weeks ago or something like that. But
You know what? We talked about have an idea what I had about him going to Las Vegas because there was a Die Hard trilogy game where he was in Las Vegas. I would love to see him in Las Vegas. He's reunited with his wife. That's the perfect way to bring Bonnie Bedelia back and some other good characters. And there's that'll be a good. Las Vegas is a perfect setting for a Die Hard movie.
yeah, I mean, if Die Hard 5 wasn't so shitty, then maybe I'd be like, yeah, I'll be down for Die Hard 6. But now that Bruce Willis is making, 27 direct-to-video movies a year, like a Seagal. That I saw the trailer for that new movie that he did with Thomas Jane, which is like an alien movie.
Oh God!
I don't know if you saw the trailer for that, but that looked pretty bad.
I did see that trailer. It looked like it reminded me of Doom a little bit.
Yeah, only shitty.
Yeah,
It's like, Thomas Jane deserves better, and he's a great actor. But yeah, I just
you know what? Speaking of Thomas Jane, I heard about this movie. That's getting a lot of attention on it. Someone was talking about on YouTube. You ever heard this movie called Run, Hide, and Fight?
yeah, I saw the trailer for that, and it looks very interesting.
It's kind of like speaking of Die. It's kind of like Die Hard in a school shooting. It's about this girl who kind of saves the school from these school shooters. Kind of like Die Hard that deals with a. It's kind of like Die Hard meets Columbine, and Thomas Jane. He plays the father.
Yeah, and I like to go check that out, and we'll see what happens. Because I like Thomas Jane, and I did like the trailers, so... And, I mean, speaking of trailers, I mean, I guess I'll go ahead and mention a couple of other trailers that I did see. Willy's Wonderland.
I didn't even see that.
Nicolas Cage versus evil animatronics.
Oh, that one. I know he was in it, but I didn't see that. What is that like?
It's pretty much like I mentioned, Nicolas Cage takes on evil animatronics.
That sounds like basic Nicolas Cage, but it sounds entertaining because of course it's fucking Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
And he has a show on Netflix about the history of swear words, where swear words came from.
Yeah, I saw the trailer for that, and I don't know if I'll watch it, but I mean, it's cool to see Nicolas Cage, back in that sort of I do like Nicolas Cage. I mean, I know a lot of people don't. There's some people that don't.
He has his ups and downs, but he's still trying,
Yeah. I mean, I like to see him get more of a comeback when he's not crazy.
You know what? Jim Carrey did a great comeback with Sonic the Hedgehog. I saw Sonic the Hedgehog. I thought, that is the best. A lot of people shit on video game movies. That is the best video game movie I've seen since the original Mortal Kombat. And Jim Carrey did an excellent job, man. Did you see it?
I know I have the Blu-ray though.
Oh, you gotta check it out, man. They did a great job redeeming that character, especially what they did trying to change his look. They did a great job with that.
Have you seen the trailer for Boss Level?
No, I haven't.
It's like an action version of Groundhog Day.
Really?
Yeah, starring Frank Grillo and Mel Gibson as the villain.
Oh, wow! I finally an action movie with a Groundhog Day situation. That's great. They already did that with horror movies and comedies, but an action movie that'll be interesting. And Frank Grillo, I'm really liking that guy. The first movie I saw him in, it was a Netflix movie. You ever heard of this movie he did called Wheelman?
I haven't seen that.
He played a getaway driver, and the movie the movie takes place in one night, and it's all in this. He's driving it. And the whole movie takes place with him driving in this car. He plays like a getaway driver. You gotta check if I know it, since you have access to Netflix, you gotta check that movie out. It's called Wheelman. That's a good movie.
All right, I'm about to get it over to watch then.
And what's cool about it kind of has like a very nostalgic vibe to some movies like something like those 70s or 80s movies about getaway car drivers. He did. It's a good movie. It was very well done. It's called Wheelman. Very good movie.
All right. But yeah, if you haven't seen the trailer for Boss Level, it looks interesting.
I will check that out. They got Mel Gibson. You bringing up Frank Gallo, the whole Groundhog Day action movie. Mel Gibson as the villain. Why not? I'll definitely check it out. Yeah, thank you.
I mean, I'm sure there's other trailers out there, but I just kind of wrote down a couple to mention. I mean, I watched a trailer for Cherry, this Tom Holland movie.
I haven't seen that one.
It's like a drama, like a crime movie.
Yeah, that's the same old drama shit, you know. But yeah, but you know how we've already had enough drama in our lives anyway.
Yeah, but I'm not sure about the plot. I mean, I'm not up on the details of the movie.
When it comes to Tom Holland, looking forward to Tom Holland. I'm looking forward to this new Spider-Man and this Uncharted movie.
Yeah, I mean, so I do look forward to Willy's Wonderland. I look forward to Boss Level. The rest of, I mean, when I look at this year, I know we've sort of talked about a few movies, but I look forward to Mortal Kombat. I have some hesitation, but we'll see what happens. Cry Macho, the next Clint Eastwood movie, I'm interested in seeing.
Okay. I heard about.
Have you heard about that?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a drama thriller.
Right.
In fact, I'll read that, see if I can find the synopsis or the plot real quick.
Okay.
Not Cry Wolf. I typed in the wrong movie.
I remember that movie.
No, I don't know why that came to mind, but
oh God.
Yeah, I don't know why I typed in that movie. So, my apologies to Cry Macho. But basically, it's Clint Eastwood's directing it, and it's about a one-time rodeo star and washed-up horse breeder that takes a job to bring a man's young son home away from his alcoholic mom. And on their journey, the horseman finds redemption through teaching a boy what it means to be a good man. So
sounds interesting.
Yeah, and Clint's still going at it. Almost what? Well, this year he's going to be 91.
He's a Rolling Stone, man. It's nice to see that some legends still alive and kicking. Of course, today we just lost Larry King, another good legend.
Yeah, that was kind of shocking a little bit. Rest in peace to Larry King.
Yeah, because you know he's the one who started all this about interviewing people. No, he's the reason why you want to be interviewed and why you want to do interviews. I mean, he started it all. He was the king of talk, you know?
Yes, and it was sad to hear. I mean, I didn't watch a lot of Larry King. I knew who he was, of course, but
of course, don't forget the scene that he was in Ghostbusters. You remember? Of course, you know the scene I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, yeah, I remember that scene. And
of course, he did a cameo in The Long Kiss Goodnight and Enemy of the State, you know.
Yeah, it was always cool to see him pop up in certain films. And there's some interviews that I like. I mean, if you were to ask, you know, as far as mentioning, that'd be hard to name some off the top of my head, but
he interviewed everybody, man.
Yeah.
No wonder he was the king of talk, because he interviewed every fucking body.
Definitely. And then also we lost Gregory Sierra. And you know what I'm talking about?
Sanford and Son, right?
Yeah, Sanford and Son, and he was the original.
I remember he was in Low Down Dirty Shame. He was in Deep Cover. Yeah, he was a very good actor. He was funny. He was funny as well. He was a very good actor.
And he was the original captain on Miami Vice for the first few episodes.
Yeah. Rodriguez. Yeah, Rodriguez. Yeah.
And
they shouldn't have killed him off. I liked him better than Edward James. Edward James almost was cool, but Rodriguez. Yeah.
And he actually was a reoccurring. Well, he didn't play the same villain, but he did pop up as a villain in about 3 episodes of MacGyver. But I always liked Gregory Sierra. You know, whenever he would pop up in, you know, TV shows and films and stuff like that. So rest in peace.
Yep. Right. Speaking of Miami Vice, you know, I don't want to go into a long conversation because we should do this we should make a long video about this. I saw a fan made speaking of Cobra Kai and Mandalorian, how they're bringing back all these franchises into TV shows, and the way and I saw this fan made trailer of Miami Vice, how they took all the footage from old TV from other movies and the way it was shot. Like they can do this. How you think of them bringing back just like with Cobra Kai and Mandalorian? Do you think they should bring back Miami Vice?
I don't know. I mean, I love Don Johnson. I love Miami Vice. I don't know where Philip Michael Thomas is at though. That's the thing. I mean, he's been out of the game for a while, right?
He has social media. I heard he's in the Bahamas somewhere.
That sounds like a Ricardo Tubbs thing he would do.
Yeah, you got because he is Ricardo. He's living the life.
Yeah, he's living life like Tubbs. That sounds like
Absolutely.
something Tubbs would do. He would go retreat to the Bahamas.
I wouldn't be surprised if he wanted to do it because he loved that show. He ever since that show came to him, he was so obsessed with it. I wouldn't be surprised if I wouldn't be surprised. There's no way he wouldn't say no because he was obsessed with that show.
Yeah,
making that show. He enjoyed.
And I love Philip Michael Thomas as well. Maybe if it was like a one-off thing, because I know Don Johnson. I guess he's still doing it. Like, and this is kind of before the COVID stuff hit. But apparently they're working on a Nash Bridges.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That they're working
What
on.
happened?
They're working on a Nash Bridges like TV movie.
That's what they should do with Miami Vice. And I just saw a TV spot that he's in that sitcom with Kenan Thompson.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's called Kenan. He's on there. He's on a sitcom with Kenan Thompson. It's called Kenan.
Who? Who's again? Who? Don Johnson?
Yeah, Don Johnson. Yeah, he's with Kenan Thompson. It's called Kenan. It's a sitcom starring Kenan Thompson from Kenan and Kel.
Okay, it says right here he's in the second episode. Okay.
It's cool that he's still working, but I can, let's talk about Nash Bridges TV movie. They can do that with Miami Vice. Maybe put it on Netflix, just like with Cobra Kai. It'll be epic. And the way they made that fan-edited trailer, it looks so perfect. I mean, Miami Vice can still work, especially with this nostalgia. People are so nostalgic with the '80s. A lot you hear a lot of music that's kind of similar to the '80s. All this nostalgic trend with the '80s. It's with Stranger Things and Cobra Kai. It's the perfect way. It's a perfect time to bring back Miami Vice.
Yeah, it'd be cool. It's like maybe a 3 or 4 episode event.
Kind of like what they did with the X-Files.
I think. Don't get me started on that. Don't get
Oh
me
God,
started.
but
Yeah.
way fucking better.
It could be way better. But yeah, apparently they're working on a Nash Bridges TV movie, and it's in pre-production right now.
Forward to that. I'm looking forward to that for sure. Definitely looking forward to that.
And it says, according to IMDb, Don Johnson and Cheech Marin are attached.
Great.
So,
But it's not. It was cool that on those they had some episodes where they had Phil Michael Thomas and guest star. You remember those episodes where they guest starred on Nash Bridges?
yeah, and I remember Stone Cold Steve Austin appeared in some episodes.
Oh my God, he stole the show on that show. He stole the show, man.
And James Gammon was Nash's father. I remember that.
Yeah, I remember. Check this out. He recently died. May him rest in peace. Jan Michael Vincent played his brother in one episode.
Okay, I forgot about that. I really enjoyed Nash Bridges. And I mean,
Yeah.
Miami Vice, was great as well.
So we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, I mean,
Way better than that fucking movie, that Miami Vice movie, that boring ass piece of shit.
oh God. I mean, I remember watching that like a long time ago. And a few minutes in, I turned it off. I'm like, how can you, Michael Mann, how can you make this so freaking boring? I mean, it was just a lifeless movie.
You didn't learn from what you did. You forgotten that you were part of the show, and you forgotten what made the show work. Come on, man.
Yeah, I mean, Colin Farrell as Crockett, Jamie Foxx as Tubbs. Maybe Jamie Foxx's Tubbs could have worked if it was better written, better directed.
Yeah, because he reminded the way he talked and how smooth he was. He kind of reminded me of Phil Michael Thomas. Yeah, they should have gave him a better. They should have worked with him on the script more.
Yeah, and Colin Farrell does not work. I mean, as Crockett, and it just the whole movie.
Who do you think should have played Crockett?
Anyone other than Colin Farrell. I mean, it. And don't tell me Mark Wahlberg, because I would have said F that too.
I'm never going to mention him. But I remember one time someone mentioned that the perfect guy Crockett would have been Paul Walker.
Perhaps. I'm trying to see. Maybe I'm trying to go back on that movie real quick, and now, like I said, I only watched like the first few minutes of it, and I got bored really quick. And I'm trying to see who else was maybe considered for that. Like, who else was considered for Sonny Crockett? Oh, even Colin Farrell admits to not liking the movie.
Can you fucking blame him?
He says right here, this is what he admitted later. I didn't like it so much. I thought it was style over substance. And I accept a good bit of responsibility. It was never going to be Lethal Weapon. But I think we missed an opportunity to have a friendship that also had some elements of fun.
Even he's admitting to it.
Yeah. So okay, Colin Farrell doesn't like the movie, but it still exists. Hey, there you go. Can we cancel that movie? Can we just
exactly? Talk about canceling? Should cancel that fucking movie.
Yeah, please. Can we erase that out of existence? See, look, thinking about that movie's making my speech slurred. That's what happens when you think about the Miami Vice movie. It messes up your brain, it messes up your speech, and to hell with Colin Farrell.
Yeah.
Anyway, and apparently Edwards James almost was given a chance to reprise his role as Castillo, but turned it down.
How can you blame him either? How can you blame him too?
Okay, here's some other names that were considered for Sonny Crockett. Tom Cruise.
I could see that. Because he already worked with Jamie Foxx in Collateral. It would have been awesome to see that same chemistry in the Miami Vice. He would have nailed it. I could see that.
He would have been a little bit better than Colin Farrell. Brad Pitt.
I could see that. I could see that too. He's known for that sex appeal like John Johnson has. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
And it also mentions Matthew McConaughey.
I could see that. I could definitely see it. But you know what? I even heard that there were talks of him playing Magnum PI in a movie a while back. I could have seen that. He would have nailed it.
Yeah, I remember that now. You mentioned it. I remember Matthew McConaughey's name being mentioned for a Magnum PI movie.
But it never happened. We got a shitty show where you have a guy who doesn't look nothing like Tom fucking Selleck, but still has the Ferrari.
Yeah.
Fuck that show. Same shit with that MacGyver show. Don't get me started with that.
I hope it ends. No, I'm going to start very soon here. I'm going to start on the MacGyver reviews, and I'm not going to go there with the reboot. I've seen the pilot, and that was enough for me.
You know what? Speaking of Miami Vice and reboots, you remember Vin Diesel was thinking about rebooting Miami Vice?
I don't recall that. I don't know when that was, but I'm glad it didn't happen.
Thank God. But yeah, they can make this happen. Seeing how this nostalgia trend is getting so popular now, and you have Cobra Kai and the Mandalorian giving redemption to these franchises. Miami, I can see this happening with Miami Vice. It can still work.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'd like to see maybe as a kind of like what they're doing, if they're doing the Snatch Bridges TV movie, maybe as something like that. I would say that, because I don't know how many, considering Don Johnson is in his 70s now, and as well as Phil Michael Thomas, how much can you get out of these two guys? And I'm a fan of both.
Yeah, and speaking of streaming, that's something that's worth streaming. They can make this a Netflix movie on streaming. That's worth streaming. That'll be worth streaming for sure, since streaming is so popular.
But yeah, I mean, even with that, I mean, streaming wise, I don't know. I'm not caught up on the new shows and stuff. I mean, I don't even have Netflix. So not yet. Um, I mean, there's some stuff I would like to check out, but
Still need to check out Stranger Things, man. You still got to check that out.
yeah, stuff to check out that. I would like to check out Bright, Will Smith, and some other stuff that I haven't seen. I mean, it's just
Oh, also Black Mirror. Black Mirror, that's another good show.
yeah, and I gotta finish watching. Yeah, I mean Disney Plus. Even I mentioned earlier, Mandalorian. I still have to finish watching that. I mean,
I will definitely check that out. After what I've heard and what I've seen, I will check that out for sure.
um, but right now I'm trying to get the Bond reviews out of the way so I can get to other stuff, and then at the end I will do a top 10 favorite Bond movies, and then maybe I'll do like a whole podcast where I talk about Bond.
I will definitely try and join you for that.
All right, that sounds like a plan because. And like I said, I'm trying to get these reviews out, and I'm going ahead, like I'm watching the movies ahead, and right now I'm about to go watch. Well, not tonight, but I'm about to be on Never Say Never Again. So, what's your? I know. Yeah, I mentioned about doing like a big podcast about Bond, but what's your thoughts on the franchise?
You know, I've always loved this franchise. Everybody's grew up with this franchise. It's still going strong, despite the fact that how I feel about Daniel Craig. It's the franchise that led the way for the action genre in the first place because all the action movies that came out in the 80s with Schwarzenegger and Stallone. There's these tongue-in-cheek, balls to the wall action movies that those people these days, these people these days prefer as cheesy for no good fucking reason. If they're calling it cheesy, then they must be pussy for some reason. These people, but these movies are led the way for what the action genre was and what it is now, and it's still going strong. I mean, after like I think 30 years, 40 years now. I mean, it's a phenomenon. It led the way for the action genre what it is now, and it's just like the character. It's not going to die anytime soon. Despite the situations it's going through now. It always comes just like the character. He always finds a way to bounce back. And it's not just in the movies, but also in the video games. Because for a while, the James Bond games were my favorite video game. It's my favorite video game franchise. So I'm glad that phenomenon is still going strong. And of course, Sean Connery. I have to mention him because he was my favorite actor. And I always said Arnold Schwarzenegger. He was my idol, but Sean Connery was my favorite series actor. I was so shocked when he died. I mean, he really put a huge impact on me as both an actor, as a man, as how I want my career to go when I get to Hollywood, and even when he's gone, and even when the other actors who play Bond or Bond girls are gone, it's these just like the character James Bond is going to live forever. I'm glad it's still hanging in there. Who doesn't love 007?
Do you have any favorites?
My favorite one is definitely Tomorrow Never Dies. That was the second Pierce Brosnan movie. I'll definitely join you on that because I had a very fond memory seeing that around Christmas of '97, around Christmas time in the theater. This was the time that GoldenEye, the game, came out, and of course Michelle Yeoh. She changed the way of Bond girls forever. She was a different Bond girl. She kicked ass. She's my favorite Bond girl, Michelle Yeoh.
Okay, yeah, I still have to. Believe it or not, people, I still haven't seen that all the way. I've seen a little bit of the movie over the years, but I just haven't seen Tomorrow Never Dies, the entire movie.
What? It is the most relevant Bond movie because it deals with the bullshit with the media.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to be watching it here soon, so I will find out.
Absolutely, you're gonna love it. I'll definitely join you on that. Join that when you get to it.
But yeah, definitely. Like I said, I will definitely cap off the Bond reviews with a bang. Give you my top 10, maybe top 15 favorites of the Bond franchise, and then
I do want to join you when you get to Timothy Dalton because I prefer when it comes to a darker James Bond, I prefer him any day than fucking Daniel Craig.
yeah, we'll figure that out too as well because sort of recap all the Bond movies, which I did a little recap video, but I still got more to go. I mean, I probably got about 12 more to go as far as reviews and such. But yeah, I'm halfway there. I'm getting there. And I'm sorry it's taken as long as like I should have been done with this by now, reviewing the Bond series. But yeah, I'm about done, and I'm about there. I can sense the finish line. And yeah. So look forward to that podcast because I definitely, want to talk about, recap the entire franchise in a podcast. And then that will be the conclusion of the Bond marathon. So more of that to come.
Very good, Q.
I mean, I don't know what else to mention. I mean, is there anything else that I didn't get a whole lot of questions, but is there anything that you want to?
I definitely want to mention. I definitely want to mention that Goonies live stream.
Oh yeah, what was that? I didn't see. I saw a little bit of it, but what was that about?
Okay, ever since the pandemic, there's been this trend with actors where some of them they go back and they get together and they do like virtual table reads of TV shows or movies that they were in, like it was like it's a virtual play or something like that. Of course, the biggest one was Fast Times at Richmond High, where they didn't have some of the actors from the actual movie, but they had different actors. Where they had Julia Roberts, Brad Pitt, and Morgan Freeman as the narrator, and they were reading the script. And you had Shia LaBeouf playing Sean Penn's role. Sean Penn, he was there, but he had a cameo as the pizza guy who was delivering the pizza at the school. He was playing a different character, which was funny. And what's interesting, they did for charity. They did for a charity event. You'll find you can type it in on YouTube. But you know what I think. But you know what, that all changed when they did the same thing with the Goonies, because that was the best virtual read I ever did because they did it for charity. And the way they put it together, it was like, oh my God, it was so magic. It was so epic.
Yeah.
All the original Goonies came back. And what made it even cool, they were actually dressed as, some of them were actually dressed as their characters from the movie.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, Data, he still had his coat. I mean, Corey Feldman, Malv, he had the jacket with the purple rain shirt. Josh Brolin, he had the head, despite the fact that he had a beard, he had a grizzly gray beard. He had his headband with the shirt he had, and of course Martha Plimpton, who played Steph. She had her glasses. She had her outfit, but the one that really made an impact on me with coming back was Carrie Green, who played Andy, the girl.
Uh-huh.
I mean, that woman has not aged. That woman has not aged. She is like in her 50s. She has not aged. She still looks as gorgeous as she was when she did the movie. She was wearing her yellow coat that she wore in the movie. She said on interview she kept it.
Wow.
That was one of the props. That was her coat. She actually kept it. That was a prop that she kept. She brought it back for that, and it was for a charity event. While you were watching it, they had like, it showed how much money they were growing for the charity event. And Cary Elwes, he was the narrator. He was reading the script, and they brought back Robert Duffy, who played Jay. He was dressed as his character. They had Joey Pants come back, and they had this one actress, I forgot her name. She did a good job. She was no Anne Ramsey, but she really did put her own spin into it. I mean, they did a good. It was like watching a virtual radio play, because that was so cool about it. It was like you know how radio plays, they add so much sound and stuff like that and everything.
Yeah.
They did a great job. What was cool about it, while this was going on, they actually showed some clips from the movie, like when Cary Elwes, the narrator, he was reading a scene that was going on. They would cut back to that, and they would cut back to the cast reading the script, like it was actually happening. Like it was like watching a virtual radio play. It was set up like one of those radio plays that they would do back in the day.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, and Sean Ashton, he did a good job. I mean, all the cast, they did a good job. They did not lose. It was perfect. They did it perfectly. You should check it out. I discovered it on TikTok. It was live on TikTok, and I think and it's now on YouTube. So type in the Goonies live stream. They did such a good job with it. They did such a great job.
All right.
I enjoyed it.
I'm about to check that out then. I mean, I know you mentioned it in a message. And I saw a little bit of it. I didn't watch a lot of it, and I have to go back and check that out.
It was great. You're gonna love it. For any Goonie fan, check it out. This is the closest to a Goonies 2 as we can fucking get. I'll tell you that much.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know what else. We've covered a lot here, and just like, you know, going over different topics and stuff like that. I mean, we went from streaming to talking about VR and theaters to dishing on the Miami Vice reboot and, you know,
Cobra Kai
and stuff like that. And it's fun. It's fun to, you know, rant with you and definitely we'll do more of this and even the other guys out there. I mean, Fabio, would like to do something with him at some point, and Matt Thomas. And he was going to join us tonight. Shout out to Matt Thomas. But I think he had to cancel. But we'll get up again. And like I said, we're definitely going to do more of these. And, I mean, do you have any thoughts?
You know what? I thought this was a cool way to start off the new year. You know, I haven't done anything with you one-on-one. Of course, we always had other people, but it was nice to do a one-on-one with you after so many months. So it was a perfect way to start off the new year. And I think this is the most fun I've had with doing a stream with you so far. I'm looking forward to more, but this has been the best, most fun I've had since the last time we both did something together, and I'm looking forward to more this year. But it was a pleasure doing it again for sure.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to get up more, and there's other topics that we can do, discussions we can have, and it was great to hook up again. I mean, like I said, it's definitely been a minute since me and Wildman has talked one-on-one. I think me, you and Matt, we had a discussion not too long ago, like a couple weeks ago. We talked about Demolition Man, and I'll get back on that train at some point. But, you know, it was just fun to have a hangout discussion and, you know, shoot the breeze.
Absolutely. Shoot the breeze.
But this was fun, and it was great to connect again. And thank you, Wildman, for joining up.
Always a pleasure.
And I hope you guys enjoyed it. And no mercy. Sweep the leg.
Mercy's for the weak. Sweep the leg.
And
See you in the stop.
And Don Johnson rules.
Absolutely.
Don Johnson for life.
For life, baby.
All right. See you later.
See you in the stars.